It's Bill Steffen. Thanks so much for joining us on this little weather journey this evening. And we're talking about the heat. It's been incredibly warm around here, but I want to start out with something a little bit different for you. Some areas are quite warm right now, and other areas aren't. Take a look at this picture. This is from the Glacier National Park Conservatory, and this is up by Logan Pass. And this looks like January, but it's really today, or actually yesterday. Glacier National Park, the Going to the Sun Highway was closed because of the snow there. Logan Pass was at 10 inches of snow there and still snowing, and Leodore at 4 inches of snow, but higher totals were up in the higher elevations of Glacier. It was snowing all the way down into Yellowstone and the Grand Tetons. Snow level had dropped to 4,300 feet. Now, Denver is what, the mile-high city, 5,280 feet. So this is down below that, and they were still getting snow. And I got a message from my brother-in-law and sister-in-law that are on a trip in British Columbia, and they were getting snow. So that's pretty amazing. All right, enough on the snow here. Let's talk about what's going on here. Low temperatures Sunday morning, 81 in downtown Chicago. Could you imagine that? And the 80 degrees in Grand Rapids was the third warmest night we have ever had in Grand Rapids. We've had two others in the month of July, so this was the warmest nighttime low temperature we've ever had here during the month of June. Holland Airport also at 80 degrees for an overnight low. Kalamazoo, Ionia, and Big Rapids stopped at 78. Battle Creek, Coldwater, the wind died off a little bit there and allowed temperatures to get slightly cooler at 76. It was cooler at the beach, not only during the daytime, but also at night. 72 was the overnight low temperature at Holland at the beach there, and 68 at the Holland Beach, or at the Muskegon Beach, and also on the Muskegon Pier. If you were to walk way out to the end of the pier by the pier light out there, their low temperature was 68. So 80 in Grand Rapids, 68 in Muskegon. It was cooler near the lake significantly, even at nighttime. All right, let's take a look at high temperatures here on Sunday. 95 at Ionia and Detroit, 94 Grand Rapids and Kalamazoo, 93 at Battle Creek and Lansing, 92 at the Holland Airport. But you can see down there a little bit at Holland State Park, the high temperature was 78. So just right across that small distance, the wind was generally south, but it turned south-southwest off the water right by the state park there, and you can see the difference. And the Muskegon Pier, the high temperature was just 75. So look at the 95 in Ionia, 75 at the Muskegon Pier. And with similar temperatures here shaping up for this Monday, you can see that if you want to get a little cooler air, you want to head to Lake Michigan, especially in areas north of Holland. Okay, wow, that's pretty amazing. Well, the same advisories are still all in effect because the air mass hasn't changed. We have a heat advisory for all counties this Monday. Heat index will be between 95 and 105. The heat index peaked at about 100 in Grand Rapids. I can remember when the heat index was 115 in Kalamazoo. I believe that was 2012, maybe. No, it was 1995, I think, was the highest heat index in Kalamazoo. Anyhow, we also have a beach hazards advisory. Do not jump off the south side of the piers because the wind will be southwest and that strong current will develop. Talked about that yesterday. Just don't swim anywhere near. I know at Grand Haven they have buoys up to kind of block off the area right by the pier. Really a dangerous place to be when you have a strong south wind. We'll have small craft advisories in effect. If anything, the wind will be ever so slightly lighter than it was on Sunday and lighter than it was on Saturday. But waves should still increase to 2 to 5 feet, the 5 up toward the point at Ludington, perhaps, and the 2 feet down toward Benton Harbor. Waves higher as you go farther north. And an air quality alert, once again, we have that out for ozone for the lakeshore counties plus Kent and also Cass County. Okay, we want to take a moment out now to thank our sponsors, and here's Michelle.
Need a fast, efficient, and affordable cleaning service? Complete Care Concierge has you covered. Serving all of West Michigan, we offer one-time, daily, weekly, and bi-weekly cleans, plus move in, move out. We also service apartment hallways and laundry rooms. Our work is guaranteed, gift cards are available, and we even clean on weekends. There's no better way to say I love you than giving a tired mom a break from dishes and laundry. Are you a busy professional? Pamper yourself by taking vacuuming and dusting off your plate. Office manager, Keep your business looking and feeling its very best. Call 616-264-1397 today for a spotless space and total peace of mind.
When your home needs help, you might not know where to start. Why not ask Ace? We're always here to help with Ace Handyman Services. Our talented craftsmen handle everything from drywall and carpentry to doors and kitchens. We're the neighbors you trust to get the job done right. Let's get started. Book your handyman appointment today. Ace Handyman Services, bringing helpful to your home.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Well, here's a look at where the severe weather is going to be, and you can see it does come into lower Michigan here. The slight risk category is outlined there in yellow. This is from the Storm Prediction Center, and it says in that area from Kansas up toward upper Michigan and northwest lower Michigan, there is a slight risk for a severe thunderstorm. Best bet for that would be anywhere from mid to late afternoon through the nighttime hours. And then in the dark green, which comes down almost to Grand Rapids, that is, actually it does come down right to Grand Rapids. That is where there's a marginal risk, or level 1. It is mainly for isolated wind damage, but we'll certainly have to watch as thunderstorms develop along a very weak cool front off to our west from Kansas up to around Sault Ste. Marie, and then try and work their way east here through the night. But at least there's a chance that something could sneak in here and maybe provide a little bit of relief. That front is going to stall right over our area here, and that's going to bring us a marginal chance of rain, of thunderstorms during the day on Tuesday. And if we can flash back to Tuesday there, as you can see in the dark green color, it goes right through our area here. But it's only a marginal or level 1 risk, and mainly for very isolated wind damage. We can expect Tuesday and Tuesday night at least a scattering of thunderstorms in the area to provide a little bit of relief from the heat that we have here. At least there'll be a little bit more cloud cover. In terms of total rainfall, you can see where the heavy rainfall is going to fall. Look at New Mexico. A lot of clouds, showers, thunder showers. Part of that is because there's another tropical storm developing, and that south wind comes up over the mountains of Mexico with moisture, and then they get daily thunderstorms that occur there in far west Texas and in New Mexico. So it doesn't get back into Arizona, but it does get into New Mexico. They'll probably have some local flooding there, and there probably will be off to the west 2 inches of rain possible where that orange color is from Nebraska there up into Wisconsin. We'll take a look a little closer into Michigan here, and you can see the heavy rain off to the west of us. But really from Grand Rapids south, there isn't much chance for much of anything here over the next couple of days. All the action's going to be just off to our north. And you can see up there, some places could get up close to an inch up toward Manistee. I don't know, can you hear the cat? Cat's here talking to me. I don't know what it means. People ask me what language I'd like to speak, and I tell them cat, because I'd like to know what the cat's thinking. He's looking at the graphics here, and he's making a comment. That's all. All right, the next tropical storm is going to be called Flossie. Right now, the National Weather Service Hurricane Center has a 70 to 80% chance of this becoming a tropical storm. And you can see the hatched area there in red is where we expect the tropical storm winds to occur. So it's off the coast, which is good, and I hope it stays that way. But Flossie will not become a super major hurricane as it drifts toward a little cooler water off to the north. But the one part of the globe that's been active in terms of hurricane and tropical storm activity has been that area of the Eastern Pacific off the coast of Mexico. There is one little disturbance in the Western Pacific Ocean, and that may become a tropical storm and then scoot by the east coast of Japan, but probably not as a major hurricane. And it's still quiet in the Atlantic, Gulf of Mexico, and Caribbean. Okay, headlines. Heat wave continues today. Temperatures will be in the low to mid 90s during the afternoon. The heat index up close to 100 degrees. It'll be a little bit on the breezy side this afternoon with gusts around 20 to 25 miles an hour. So at least we get a little bit of a breeze here. In terms of temperatures across the area, and take a look at that and see where we land. First of all, the lakeshore forecast, waves 2 to 5 feet. Look at the water temperatures. Duck Lake was 70. A lot of water temperatures in the mid to upper 60s, and it'll probably bounce up another couple of degrees with the heat that we have over us today. Reed's Lake was up to 77. We're going to see if we make 80, because I think this week there's an outside chance that we might see it 80-degree water temperature there, especially if it's during the afternoon. Okay, now let's take a look at some temperatures here. For later on today, our forecast 95 degrees, early morning low of 78, skies mostly clear, humidity down to 50%, and wind southwest. During the afternoon, they'll be running at 10 to 20 miles an hour. We're looking for readings to be up into the mid-90s in inland areas. You can see look at Detroit, 98 degrees, the expected high temperature today. Toledo and Yo Adrian at 97. We got Chicago at 97, Grand Rapids 95, Greenville 94, and South Haven at 80. So once again, if you want to stay a bit cooler, you want to head to Lake Michigan, do some shopping, stop in one of the air-conditioned restaurants along the lakeshore. We could just go right up the coast here, Benton Harbor, Saugatuck, South Haven. I went up and jumped one there. Holland, Grand Haven, Muskegon, Pentwater, Ludington, all really fine places to spend on a warm summer day. The heat goes even up into the UP, as you can see, temperatures well up into the 80s there as well. All right, so we move on to Tuesday, and you can see temperatures here cool off just a touch. There'll be a little bit more cloud cover, and there'll be a little bit more of a contrast. I think south of I-94 especially, it'll still reach the low 90s. But as you travel off to the north, Big Rapids at 82 on Tuesday, Traverse City a comfortable 76. There will be a chance of a shower or thunderstorm during the day, especially in areas that are around and north of the Grand Rapids area. So that's what we have to look forward to there. The 5-day forecast, sunny, hot today at 95. We're at 91 on Tuesday, but 80s north of Grand Rapids, a 30% chance of a shower or thunderstorm here on Tuesday. Wednesday, back to the mid to upper 80s for mid 80s for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And look at the chance of rain, 60% Wednesday, 60% Thursday, and 50% on Friday. So during any 12-hour time period, not a sure thing, but over the course of those 3 days, everybody should see at least half an inch of rain here, and the gardens will certainly appreciate that. The latest long-range outlook continues to keep most of the country in above normal temperatures, especially the southeast, where temperatures will be well up into the 90s. And it finally warms up in Montana, where it's been snowing. I expect their temperatures there should make rebound all the way back up into the 80s. So big changes coming there. Of course, it does get cooler at night out in Montana. It can be 85 in the daytime and 50 at night. Below average temperatures where there's more cloud cover and a chance of showers there in New Mexico, and a little bit more cloud cover again here toward Michigan and Wisconsin. So once again, to sum things up here, we've got an interesting chance of rain here over the 8 to 14 day period as we get into the 4th of July weekend. But again, this is not an all-day rain. This would be a one-time shower or thunder shower, and then it clears up for a while. So all in all, a pretty good forecast to pass along. Last slide I have is to remind you again about the heat wave we are in Saturday through Tuesday. Temperatures low to mid-90s, peak heat index at 100. Not quite as hot if you're going to be near Lake Michigan, but stay indoors, try and find some air conditioning, stay hydrated, keep a little bit of water handy there. That's the best way to hydrate yourself. Check on those who are most vulnerable. If you know somebody that's elderly, or I should be talking, somebody check on me, please. But no, really, seriously, if you know somebody that might need some help with the heat that we have here, and they might not have air conditioning, see if you can help them out. So Michelle is working at the airport tonight. Let's see what she's given us here. Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech was first given in Detroit, Michigan. I did not know that. 125,000 people attended the march in Detroit. Now keep in mind, the big house holds about 106,000 people. So that is quite the crowd in Detroit. The speech contained elements of the famous I Have a Dream speech given in Washington, D.C., later that summer on August the 28th. So that is interesting. I didn't know that was first given in Detroit. Civil Rights Act was passed in 1964. It was a bipartisan bill, if I remember right, signed into law on June 2, 1964 by President Lyndon Johnson. And what else do we have here? One more on this. Northwest Airlines flight disappears over Lake Michigan. Douglas DC-4, same type of aircraft that went missing. I remember we've talked about this before because there was a storm out over Lake Michigan. Now in 1950, obviously we didn't have advanced weather prediction, and in fact, a lot of people didn't even have TV in 1950. So it was interesting. But here's some facts about it. Northwest Airlines flight 2501 58 people on board. The flight was going from New York to Seattle, but was supposed to stop in Minneapolis. There was a storm over Lake Michigan. The pilot requested a lower flight altitude because of weather. They were denied the lower altitude because of other air traffic. Wreckage was never found, so that plane is still lying at the bottom of Lake Michigan. The cause still unknown, though it may very well have been related to the storms that were in progress. Okay, some interesting Pink Flamingo Day. Now, if you're looking for a way to celebrate today, there it is. Pink Flamingo Day, everybody. American flamingo is found in Florida and is native to the Caribbean. We saw a few of them in the Bahamas when we were down there. They often turn up when displaced because of storms in the Caribbean, like Hurricane Idalia. So interesting. There are many things that are bright orange color like that. It's interesting. This U.S. airport features a giant pink flamingo statue. Okay, stop. I have been at the airports in Miami a couple of times, Orlando a couple of times, and Fort Myers a couple of times, and I do not remember seeing a giant 21-foot tall pink flamingo. The three-letter airport code is TPA. Well, doesn't that give it away? That would be Tampa, Florida. I didn't know that they had a 21-foot flamingo there, but it must be interesting to see. If I ever get there, I will take a picture of it and send it back. We can show it here on the blog. But happy Pink Flamingo Day. And speaking of the Pink Flamingo, the Flamingo Hotel in Las Vegas, casino opened in 1946. Bugsy Siegel, part of the mob there, was a financing partner. It's interesting to look at Las Vegas and see how the population has grown there, because about 125 years ago, there was nobody there. And I mean, it's really come to life out there, a city in the desert. Now, the least expensive room that's Michelle, could find when I searched was $76 a night, which includes the resort fee. $76. Holy cow. Didn't we just have a graphic that the Grand Hotel wanted $4,264 or something like that for the weekend? Of course, I think I'd rather be at the Grand Hotel than the Pink Flamingo. I'm not a gambler, and it's really hot outside in Las Vegas this time of year. But wow, $76 a night. That's pretty interesting. Okay, what else we got? We got a couple of flowery pictures to show you here from Dave Verhoeven. Lost Lake Trail. I don't know if I've ever been on that one or not. Those look like a wild iris, maybe. Somebody else might be able to enlighten us and tell us what that is. That is in Ludington State Park. Beautiful place to be in, and there's a lot of room there. A great place to go hiking. We've been up there before. I've been around Hamlin Lake in a boat before. Had a lot of fun up there in the Ludington area. Okay, and next from John Doherty, we have a very close-up picture of a clover, and that is really pretty. Clover, very common. I had probably the best crop of clover, white clover, I have ever had growing in my lawn this year. I don't know what it was about this year, but the weed and feed did a strange turn here. And all of a sudden, we have a lot of clover there in the yard. But it's pretty. It attracts bees. Clover honey is wonderful, and really a pretty flower here, native to much of the Great Lakes area and the U.S. And I think we have one more here, a reminder again about John Scully's Blueberry Pancake Breakfast fundraiser. Put it on your calendar for Biking with a Purpose in the Muskegon area, food distribution community service. It's from 9 o'clock till 11 o'clock on Saturday. Donations are certainly welcome on Thompson Avenue in Muskegon. So make a day of it. May come over there for that. It certainly looks good, and I've always liked blueberries. Good thing to do on this very hot day would be to head to South Haven and get yourself some blueberry ice cream. That's blueberry capital of Michigan and almost blueberry capital of the world. So we enjoy South Haven. Thanks so much for staying with us here until the end. From Michelle and I, hope you have yourself a fantastic day today, and stay cool.